Alright, this week it's time to get into resistance bands. So last week I went over Danny Cavallo, who's a calisthenics expert. He was like one of our presenters on Thursday in Athlete X 2024 this year. Dave Schmidt was another one of those presenters on Thursday as well, and he was introducing like resistance bands. So resistance bands would be like a perfect segue from doing calisthenics. Now, calisthenics are like a great way to get started with like strength training, because all you need is your body. So like if you get into Danny's stuff and everything, you can sit there and he gives you great ways to progress and everything. So like you can get into his stuff as well as like athletex.com. Jeff Cavalier has like a couple like body weight programs, 0 and 02. And now he also has Elastics, which is a resistance band training program. So what I'll do is I'll link the to Dave Schmidt's YouTube channel, or at least the YouTube, and so he has the YouTube channel where you can go over he goes over resistance bands training. So like I said, resistance band training is like the perfect segue from I got stuff in my teeth and everything. Anyway, resistance bands training is a great way, a great progression from your body weight calisthenics workouts that you do. So while calisthenics would be a great way to get started, and using a 0 and 02 as an example, you now have say 6 months of experience doing exercise, doing strength training, and getting Danny Cavallo's stuff. You now have a whole range of a good 6 months of experience. Now you get into Dave Schmidt's stuff, you start learning how okay, this is how he does stuff and everything, and here's some ideas on how to incorporate resistance bands. So now just what's great about not only calisthenics and resistance bands as a beginning progression, what you can use the resistance bands and calisthenics as my cat is looking for attention. It's gonna knock stuff over like usual. Yes, you're nothing but a troublemaker. Yes, you're talking about resistance bands. I know you don't use any. Anyway, with resistance bands and calisthenics, what they do is once you progress to the point where oh hey, look, I feel like I can't put any more muscle mass just using these basic movements or whatever. So I need to start using barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, and everything to start putting even more muscle mass on. These act great as in a sense a drop set. So the concept of a drop set is for instance, you're sitting there with the barbell, you're doing the barbell bench press, that you're doing 135 pounds, and then you sit there and you rack it. What you can do with calisthenics is then drop down and do push-ups and everything. So that is the concept of the drop set with calisthenics. Another way to do a drop set is the same kind of concept of bench press. So the barbell, you do 135 pounds for a certain number of reps, you rack it, and then you get the resistance band, and maybe you lay down on the floor or whatever, and you have it on your back, and then you just sit there and you start pressing with the resistance band. So those work great for drop sets once you progress past the basic calisthenics and resistance bands. Now there are a few different types of resistance bands. So some that I have are these tube ones that have the pre-made handles on. So that what they're great is for pulling, and you can sit there, wrap it around a pull-up bar, and sit there and you grab onto these and kind of do the lat pull down. Now they do come in tubes, so there's two types of tubes: those ones that have the handles already on them, and then the tubes that have clips and everything. So you can clip handles and stuff on them, or you could in essence clip them together and have a tube like that. So there's those types of resistance bands, and then there's actual bands themselves. So there's tubes and then there's bands. And so what's great about these ones is you can kind of wrap them around and kind of pull them apart. So do a pull apart, for instance this and everything, to help get you back and everything, do corrective exercises and everything. So there's several different types, of course, as you can see in mine's athlete elastics and everything. So like get into like the elastics programs or something like this. There's like two. There's this red one and there's a black one, which is a little less resistance and everything. So, but those are the two types of resistance bands that you can get: the tubes or the actual bands themselves. So, and Dave Schmidt does have his old line of like resistance bands that are like these ones, and I mean they're most of these are all these are like color coordinated. So like this one, like with the with this being AX Athlete X Elastics, there's two that he has, this one and the black one. Now like most of them are usually color coordinated. So like for instance, like this one's the yellow, so this one tends to be like a lighter resistance than something like this and this one. So this one actually has like this stuff I've gotten at Dick's and everything. So you can see this one mimics like 100 pounds of resistance and everything. So now it's not necessarily would be like the same kind of like resistance as maybe like 100 pounds, like if you're doing like on a machine or something, because the strength curve is slightly different with the resistance bands. So like for instance, stuff like a bench press and like with a barbell, kettlebell, and dumbbells, like with the strength curve like that, like most of like your strength would be like down in this area, going up through here. That's where you're getting most of the gains with like or like barbell, dumbbell. Your resistance bands, you're getting more like up in here. So like that's kind of like the arc of like the resistance. So you're getting different types of resistance in that the strength curve for using the different equipment and everything. So that's why resistance bands come in handy, is that you're getting like that different range of motion. You're getting like the different tension in the different ranges and everything. So that's why they also work great as like drop sets as well. So like for instance, like I use the bench press, like barbell bench press. Like you're sitting there, you're doing the bench press like 135 pounds, you rack it, and then like you get like something like this, you wrap it around your back, and like you'd want to use like one of the other like resistance bands that are like kind of like this. So you'd wrap it around like your back and like just kind of do like the press and motion with this as a drop set. So that like that's like a perfect way to incorporate them once you progress past like calisthenics and like resistance bands. So like the whole presentation that Dave Schmidt did, like he was like showing us how to like incorporate these and like using like wrap it around our belt and like our midsection, wrap it around something, and like we could sit there and like do explosive actions like running and stuff again, different ways and how to incorporate that. So like I said, I'll link the I'll link to the YouTube and everything, so you can go check out the at least his channel and everything. So because he'd be able to go over that a lot more in his videos than I could in a simple like 10-15 minute video here. So he was like another like presenter, like I said, on Thursday in the MVP. So those like so now we have like a start of a progression, as you can see, like with like Danny Cavaldo's calisthenics and now Dave Schmidt's resistance bands. So now with calisthenics, like it might not cost anything to get started with like calisthenics. Like usually you can get like one of these. I want to say like you'd have to go to athletenex.com, but I think one of these is like $50 or something. So like $50 for resistance bands to kind of like to progress past calisthenics. And what's great about this is like you can just sit there and chuck it right in your like travel bag, so they're easy to like bring with you. So like if you're traveling to like hotels or something, hotels are notorious for having like kind of like, okay, well we got a gym, and we've got some equipment, and it's kind of like, yeah, here's some equipment. You just like, yeah, don't bug us. Like here's some equipment you can use and everything. It's like, yeah, okay. It's kind of like an afterthought and everything. So like resistance bands like that are great for travel as well. So you always have like something other than like your like body weight calisthenics that you can use. Yeah, so that this is the like I reiterate, this is the progression you can follow with getting started and everything. So like with strength training, at least a good way to start with the strength training would be calisthenics. Use resistance bands would be the perfect next step and everything. Of course, I'll reiterate, if you want to put on as much muscle mass as possible without using steroids, you're going to eventually have to like progress to use in your barbells, your dumbbells, and like your kettlebells. And of course, there's also a bunch of machines that you're going to find at like a typical gym and everything. So, but the focus of this was to kind of showcase like, okay, here's resistance bands that you can use to progress past the calisthenics. And so Dave Schmidt was like presenting this on, like I said, Thursday. So he was one of those presenters. And so what's great about that is we actually spent like a good probably hour and a half learning from him on how to use those resistance bands, which is a great way, like I reiterate to end this video, a great way to segue from calisthenics into actual strength training with like things like kettlebells, dumbbells, and barbells.